so far I've been using the Claude Chat. I'll show you here. And I was using Claude Chat to go through all of the ideas for this project and the calendar. And then I had to switch over to Cowork because I needed it to actually do some work for me. So what I wanted it to do, I gave it kind of the picture of the base calendar that I was looking at, and I wanted it to redesign from scratch a calendar that was inspired by that original calendar, because I don't want to be copying. I need to do my own calendar. So what I did was I gave it the picture of the original calendar, and I said, can you do something like this? Take out the graphics. I didn't give it enough instruction because it kept in too many things. So it gave me two versions. I'll show you how those came out. So this is the original one, which I'll open it up bigger. So it's just, hang on, no, this was the original one that it gave me. So it's just a lot. It doesn't look as good as the first one that we did. The months are missing from it. It kept all of the dots in here for my husband's schedule. And then it made the weekends maybe. Yeah, Saturday and Sunday. It's got them split up. I guess you can start on Sunday or Monday, but it's made them red, and I don't really like that. It's too aggressive. So that was the first version. And then the second version that it gave me was this, was just like a minimal version of it. So you can see this still has some of the color. Let me zoom in any further. But it's still like the ratio's off. It should be like able to print 3 feet by 4 feet, and that's not correct. So this one was just a little too boring. So then I prompted it and I said, let's base it off of the V1, and I'll show you that for reference. So let's base it off this V1, but take out the dots, make the red font black again, change how this is lined up. The 2025, I want it stacked as 2026. And I said, make the ratio able to print 3 by 4. And here I said, let's use V1, take out the dots, take out the red font, all of those pieces. Oh, make it 2026. So the dates are obviously different from 2025 to 2026. So I said, look at this. And it said, well, look at that, do the 3 by 4. And then it applied all of these requests to the 2026 calendar. And this is what it came up with here. So this still isn't quite right. This 2026 is just a little back. So I'll have to prompt it better for that. And then let's see if we can zoom in. So this still is feeling like 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So it does have all 12 months. It still has this Saturday and Sunday split up. I think I'm going to change some of this formatting in here. I also want these to be squares. I don't want them to be rectangles. Like this V1, I like those better than these like long boxes. So let's go back in. Looking better. Can you make the 2026? You put the 2026 together so it reads as a word. I don't know if that will make sense to it. Rather than spaced out, can you make the squares more square and less of a rectangle? And then I think what I want from it is I want it to, this is what we're working off of. I think I want it to start on like the first and just run through. Start the calendar Jan 1st in the first box, top left. And they forgot to put the month in there. Forgot to put the month in. And then start the days of the week with whatever day Jan 1st, 2026 is. 2026 is. Okay, let's see if that will do it. So I think iterating on the calendars as it creates them is good because it gives it more context. I'm not doing this within a project. I have the project in chat, and I don't know if I can port that over into Cowork because that would give it a ton of context. But I think this is okay just for like a mock-up. And then what I'm going to try and do is take this mock-up and I'll ask it to design it in Canva to get like my base calendar in Canva so that I can edit in there with AI. And I could probably choose to do something like this with Canva AI. I'm just not as familiar with it as I am the Claude Cowork system. So I'm trying this version or this way first. Okay, I was just looking up some dry erase markers because I want some cool ones that aren't super boring. I like that these ones are small, but I want some cooler colors. I've been in some like neon ones or whatever. So I just grabbed the links from those, like from this guy and from this guy, and I dropped it to my Claude Chat on my project, and I just said add these into like your context to know that they're ones that I like. So then it's automatically coming up with my shortlisted markers and recommending what they think. So that's pretty cool. But if we go to Cowork, we can see it working here. So stacks well, no dots, got it. And then it has said close enough, it won't matter at prep, but let me tighten. Okay, so tighten it up to 3-4, which is fine. View the 26 calendar. All changes applied. Oh, sorry, that's the last one. Okay, so after this last set of changes that I requested, it has started January 1st on a Thursday, which is fine. 53 rows. So it's doing 1 row per week. And it's saying that it has to be 5 inches wide by 0.85 tall. So I wonder if we, instead of doing 53 rows and doing 7 across, if we can do like 2 weeks across and do 14 across by 26, 25, 26. Let's see what changed. They changed when the columns start, they start on a Thursday. The month names are visible. Compact 2026. Weekends are bold. Weekday regular black, no dots. That's great. And then it's saying it's still concerned about the squares. So let's preview this and see what it came up with. Okay, so it did start on a Thursday, January 1st. It's saying that it put the months in there, but I don't see them still. And then the weekends are in bold, which is great, but I still don't like this layout. So I'm going to ask it to do 14 days across instead of 7 days across and see if it can square that up. Can you do 14 days across rather than 7 and see if you can make each day a square that way. Month names are visible watermarks centered in each color band. Put the month watermarks in the first week of the month. And then we'll see what it does there. So yeah, not terrible, but it can be better, and it's not looking the way that I want it to look. So once we get kind of the mock-up done, then I'll try and put it into Canva. And if we can't get there through Claude Cowork, I'll just jump over to Canva and see what I can do in there. So let's see what this last version is, and then I'm running out of battery, so I'll have to plug in up top. Okay, my computer crashed, but that's okay. So the next version that I asked it to do was more square, like sections or squares, and then do 14 rows across rather than 7. So let's see. It took a little bit for it to think through this, but let's have a preview. Oh, that's looking a lot closer. Okay, so 2026 there. And then we zoom in. I don't know what's going on here. I put a break between the first week and the second, so I'll have to get rid of that. I also don't know if I love this starting on a Thursday to put the weekend in the middle. I don't know, I'll have to play with that formatting later. But it's got the 14 across, which looks good. The weekends are now in bold, which I like. The dots are gone for my husband's schedule, so that's good. And then it still hasn't put the months in here, but maybe I'll just have to do that in Canva. So I'm probably going to go back one more time and ask it to remove whatever this thing is. And then the colors aren't quite right either. So each color is meant to be a different month. So this purple runs through the 14th, runs through the 18th, and it should actually continue through to the 31st. So I'll have to work on that too. And then the red would start on the 1st and it would go through to the 28th of February. So not quite right, but it is in the prompts that I'm giving it and the context that I'm giving it. So I will continue to work on that, but this is a lot closer. So that's the first kind of like step, is getting our base outline calendar that we'll use for each of the personalized calendars. So if we can nail this down, then we can start testing the personalizations and then build the agent to actually do the personalizations like autonomous, so I don't have to touch it at all. So yeah, not bad for, I don't know, half an hour or so of digging in and trying to get this base calendar going. So follow along and subscribe, and I will keep showing you how this progresses and if we can actually do it.